Hello everyone, I'm the FC and this is Blue Lines TV, and today I'm bringing you guys another transfer daily video. Now, in today's transfer daily video, I'm going to be talking about two things. The first story is going to be dedicated to Sandro and reports coming out that he does in fact want to leave Juventus in January. And in the second story, I'm going to be talking about Eden Hazard not agreeing to signing a new contract extension. Now, before I get into the video, as I'm always stating before videos start, please, if you haven't pressed the bell notification button, which is right beside the sub tab, please press that and stay notified to all things Blue Lines TV. Now, getting straight into the video, starting with Sandro and his potential departure from Juventus. It's been reported by Matt Law from The Telegraph that Sandro in fact wants to leave in January and that Antonio Conte really wants to bring in Sandro during the January transfer window. As I've stated in previous videos, we are in fact looking for a left wing back player. It's obvious that Alonso can't sustain a whole season again without having any backup or any player to challenge his position because he's getting too tired now, and Conte is desperate for a player to play there. Now, if it's true that Sandro is available in the January transfer window, Conte wants to bring him in. But Nini, it's pretty far-fetched that we want to go in for Sandro during January. Throughout the entire summer, we were trying our hardest to bring this guy in. It never happened, so what's the chances that he's going to come during January? Just to give you guys a quick recap on why Sandro never joined us, starting with the first and the biggest reason why, Marotta and the Juventus board just don't like Antonio Conte. It's been well documented that Antonio Conte had a big falling out with the Juventus board due to not bringing in the transfer targets that he wants, and because of that, that really strained their relationship and it really got a bit ugly, and honestly, and they just have a bad relationship from now. So Juventus definitely didn't want to sell to Antonio Conte, especially selling one of their best players, one of the best players in his position in the world, to Antonio Conte of all people. Due to this reason, this is why it was very difficult to negotiate with Juventus, because they did keep increasing Sandro's price. They wanted £80 million for him, which is a ridiculous amount of money. The second reason is that Juventus couldn't find a replacement for Sandro. Now, with Juventus, they don't sell a big player unless they have a replacement in for him. When Pogba left, they already signed Pjanic to replace him. Juventus sold Bonucci because they were stacked with defensive options already, and there was no one on the market that Juventus were interested in bringing in, so that was the second reason why they didn't want to sell him. But what Matt Law is reporting is that relationships have broken down with key staff members at Juventus between Sandro and Juventus staff. I think another reason why Sandro isn't happy is because he wasn't promised a new contract that Juventus said they would give to him. Now, Sandro knew that if he did leave Juventus in the summer to join Chelsea, he would have earned 3 to 4 times the amount of money that Juventus were going to offer him. Now, Juventus did say that if you do stay, and of course they did try and force him to stay as well, you know, Italian clubs won't sell you unless they have to or they want to. If you do stay with us, you will get a new contract. But that still hasn't come to fruition. And I think that Sandro is finally fed up with broken promises. He isn't feeling as appreciated, and he's probably regretting not leaving in the summer when he had the chance. Now, due to Sandro wanting to leave, it seems that Juventus will be forced to lower the transfer fee that they want for him. Now, it's moved from 80 million down to 50 million. Now, 50 million is a good price in my opinion, especially in today's market, and especially with how inflation works today. And you are getting one of the best left backs in world football, honestly top 3 left backs in the world. And Chelsea were hoping to pay a similar fee during the summer already, so it would fit right within our budget. Juventus are already looking at potential replacements, and they're looking at Alex Telles from Porto. Now, Alex Telles has played in Serie A already for Inter Milan. It didn't work out for him too well. I do feel that if you're a fullback, Italian teams don't really like their fullbacks pushing forward as much unless you're Napoli. And in a way, this is how wingbacks were created, because they did want to have their fullbacks pushing forward, but they wanted that solidity behind them to cover for them. Alex Telles has definitely progressed in his career, and he's been one of the best players in the Liga NOS. Not to anyone's surprise, but Chelsea have been looking into Alex Telles as well. But of course, Conte would prefer to bring in Sandro over Alex Telles. Another target that Chelsea were looking into was Gulam from Napoli. He's just signed a new contract extension. Now, if you haven't seen my previous videos discussing Gulam, you would in fact have known that Chelsea did agree a pre-contract agreement with Gulam for January, The reason why it's not going through is the fact that he has an ACL injury, and Chelsea are very strict when it comes to players who have sustained ACL injuries. Gulam will definitely still be an option, but of course, if the club can bring in Alex Sandro, they prefer to do that. Gulam is still an option for the summer. That way Chelsea can really assess how he's recovered and whether he's the same player as he was before. But of course Antonio Conte would prefer to bring in Alex Sandro because that was his main #1 target. And with Gulam signing a new contract agreement, that doesn't mean that he's not going to be available during the summer. If anything, the reason why Napoli wanted Gulam to sign that new contract was that if he does leave in the summer, they can get money for him instead of him leaving on a free. And I think allegedly he has a 35 to 40 million euro buyout clause in his contracts. Now Juventus have been pretty cryptic in regards to whether Sandro is actually going to be leaving. Morata has stated himself, Alex Sandro, we do not keep anyone if he wants to leave. We have said many times that when a player asks to be sold, regardless of prestige or importance within the team, we are in favour of a sale. When a player is unsatisfied, it is better to let him go. Now in my personal opinion, even though I don't have any inside news into the Alex Sandro situation, I do personally feel that this will be his final season. I did say during the summer that I felt that Sandro would probably stay there for another year max, then be on the move. I think Juventus know that he will be leaving, and I think that Sandro will be available in the market. Of course, there's a possibility that he will be available during January, but then Juventus might decide, you know what, we can't actually bring in a replacement just yet. Stay with us until the summer. We'll make sure that it's easy for you to leave. And I think realistically, that's how this issue is going to play out. Juventus would prefer that too, because if they are able to bring in Alex Telles, one guy that's definitely going to be coming back is Spinazzola. He's on loan at Atalanta already, and his agent has stated that his client's future is clear and he will move to Turin next summer. His future is already known, it's already written. So that pretty much confirms that Spinazzola will be there, and I'm guessing that Juventus will want 2 top class players in that position to make up for the loss of Alex Sandro. Now in my personal opinion, the club have already had a lot of discussions with Juventus. I can't imagine it being too difficult to pick up renegotiations again and continue, and I feel realistically that Sandro already knows the offer from Chelsea already, and I think that he'd be more willing to join us now. And I think if we move him for him quickly, we can beat the likes of your United's trying to sign him, because we do know that United do want to replace Luke Shaw, and they have the money and financial capabilities to really blow us out the park if they had to. But honestly, if there's one player I can get out of anyone, Alex Sandro is that guy. I hope the club do everything in their power to bring him in. I honestly feel that once he comes to the club, then we've really upgraded the whole team, and are honestly going to put us at top 5 clubs in the world, because Alex Sandro's importance is ridiculous. You have to realise the amount of space we have on the left hand side. If you have a player that's able to dominate that flank, who's able to beat a man one-on-one, effectively play as a winger when it's needed to be, he's able to defend by himself, he doesn't necessarily need support, he has that recovery pace, tenacity in the tackle, one of the best crosses in world football, and he can beat 1 or 2 men at the same time. Plus he's brilliant at holding the ball up in the final third. Honestly, this will stop Eden Hazard from having to move out wide to help support the left wing back. That would honestly make Hazard really focus solely on making runs in behind and playing more central. And I think that by having Sandro on the left and Moses on the right, that's 2 of the best wing-back partnerships in world football. Now the second story to cover is regarding Eden Hazard not agreeing to signing a new contract extension. Hazard reportedly turned down a 300,000 a week contract extension, but the reason for why he turned it down was because he does have 2.5 years left on his contract already. His contract does expire in the season 19-20, and Hazard feels that he doesn't want to agree to an extension on top of that, because he is thinking, you know what, by the time the 19-20 season comes, I'll be around 29 to 30 years old. I would like to explore another league, possibly Real Madrid if that was to be. Hazard's thinking too that if he does agree to sign that extension, that's really going to put off the likes of a Madrid trying to sign him. Of course, Chelsea do want us to keep hold of Eden Hazard. By him agreeing to that contract, it means that we are safeguarding our future by having him sign here long term. It's been reported that Hazard would prefer to pick up negotiations again during the summer. That way he can fully assess his options and he can really see where the club's going. This season there's definitely been more focus to Eden Hazard. For example, he's already been talking about wanting to win a Ballon d'Or, and he's been adamant that he wants the Champions League this year. And I think that Hazard's come to this realization that, you know what, I've just turned 26, my career's starting to come to an end soon. I've probably got another 5 years at the top to really secure the trophies that I want to bring for myself, and to win that and to become that type of player, I do need to win the Champions League and I do need to win a Ballon d'Or. So he might be thinking in his head, well, I do love it here at Chelsea, they support me a lot, they support my family, I've got a lot of amazing friends, I'm used to the city, my family enjoy living in London, but I only have one career when it comes to football, and I do want to have a legacy left behind. And he might be thinking, at the end of the summer, are Chelsea the right club for me to actually reach the aspirations that I want to reach? Now, over the past few years, Real Madrid have been that club that's always been linked to Eden Hazard. Zidane, the current manager of Real Madrid, is a massive fan of Eden Hazard since his Lille days, and he's always wanted to bring him into Real Madrid. Now, what Chelsea are hoping is the fact that Zidane does leave during the summer, and potentially that could really try to wane off some of the Real Madrid interest in Eden Hazard. But it's also been reported that Real Madrid are planning a massive transfer overhaul in the summer. During the past couple of windows, they haven't really spent crazy money and they haven't really brought in any big players. The first 11's kind of been the same for the past 2 to 3 years now. And Eden Hazard would be the restart of a new Galactico generation. But of course, as Chelsea fans, I wouldn't necessarily get too worried just yet. I do think that Hazard will probably, if anything, stay to the end of his contract, and he might decide to leave when he's 28, 29. That's when his contract's going to end. And we have more than enough time during those few years to really persuade Hazard that, you know what, this is the club for you to retire at. We can provide the aspirations that you do want. And who knows, hypothetically, there's a chance that Conte might be staying, he might not. And I'm going to be releasing a video later on this month in regards to Antonio Conte and his future. I do have some interesting exclusive news again, so when I'm allowed to have the permission to make the video, I'm going to be bringing it this month. But let's say hypothetically Conte did leave, maybe the club might decide to bring in Zidane to be the new first team manager. That way you're fulfilling the need of keeping Eden Hazard happy. He's more likely to stay, plus you have a manager that is actually very underrated, very good tactically, and plays very good football. Maybe another thing Chelsea may decide to do, but again, hypothetical, just coming from the top of my head, maybe they might decide to sign Thorgan Hazard. It seems likely that both Pedro and Willian will probably leave during next summer. The club might decide to bring in Thorgan Hazard, who's definitely developed as a player to be a squad option in the team because he is able to play on the wings or in attacking midfield positions. Now, Chelsea have done a lot for Eden Hazard in regards to signing both his brothers, of course helping Thorgan Hazard make a name for himself. He's become a Belgium international, and signing his younger brother Kylian Hazard, who was playing in Bulgaria. It looks like during January he'll probably get a better loan destination to go to. So the club have really safeguarded his brothers' careers, plus the club have really helped the Hazard family. So I think Hazard is always going to appreciate what Chelsea have done, because most clubs, probably 99% of clubs, would never do this. And as I said, Hazard has agreed to enter negotiations again during the summer, so he might decide to stay. Over the past couple of years, there's been lots of reports of him potentially leaving this year or that year. He's always ended up signing new contracts and he's always ended up staying. As long as Hazard gets footballing success at Chelsea, in my opinion, I feel that he will be staying here long term. But anyway, you guys, that's going to end today's Transfer Daily video. I want to hear some of your thoughts and opinions in the comments section. Thank you for watching today's Transfer Daily video. Please like, comment and subscribe. And if you haven't pressed the bell notification button, I'm not going to say it again. Just press it and stay notified to all things Blue Line CV. I'm the FC. This is Blue Line CV. Signing out.